You're listening to Hudson County Scum Talk, and you all know what time it is.
It's jail time! What time is it? Jail time! Jail time! What time is it? Jail time! Jail time! What time is it? Jail time! Jail time! What time is it? Jail time!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Hudson County Scum Talk with the Hudson County Scumbags, and this is episode 3. This is the trilogy. This is the return of the Jedi, if you will, of Hudson County Scum Talk with the Hudson County Scumbags. So, ladies and gentlemen, a few things we want to kind of go over. Luke Baggs, unfortunately, is not with us tonight. He's at practice with Mom and Luke. Luke, we miss you, so we have a little memorial section set up for you over there with the United States title, which Mr. Darren Deicide is so elegantly posing with.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, me bro. And we'd like to send a big shout out to our second guitarist, Dr. Scum, formerly Dr. Scum on drums, but he's just Dr. Scum on guitar now.
This is Dr.
And he's the man with the wrestling mask. He'll stretch you. Believe it. And I got my man D-Scum right here on the left. And our guest this evening on episode 3 of Hudson County Scum Talk, Mr. Darren Deicide, is with us. But before we talk to Mr. Darren Deicide, we are going to cut to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with you.
This is Dr. Scum, and you're listening to the best damn podcast in the 201. You're listening to Hudson County Scum Talk with the Hudson County Scumbags.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Hudson County Scum Talk, and we are joined with our guest this evening, Mr. Darren Deicide.
Too sweet.
Oh, you got too sweet. I like that one.
That's a little too sweet.
I like that. You gotta earn the last name Deicide sometimes.
Yeah.
That really tripped me out, dude. And I was like, am I because I'm kind of dyslexic. You see how the way I spelled the name, you know?
Apologies for misspelling your name.
That was the first time I've ever seen that one. Usually it's Deicide. Darren Deicide. And actually, in a review once, somebody said, and I think they panned me, which, go fuck yourself. I don't care. Reviewers are kind of like the lowest end of the poll there. But he actually, not even realizing that he had screwed the name up, said something trying to be clever, like, I don't decide on Darren Deicide. Just like, wow. You're compounding the stupid right now.
Well, Darren, we see that you have a wonderful beverage here, which you have so wonderfully agreed to give me a little blessing with.
My original plan, because this is Hudson County Scum Talk, was to line up some brown paper bags of Colt 45 in true scum fashion.
That's right. We do have a song called Colt 45 Magnum Drug.
Right.
Yeah,
and instead, I obviously failed at that because
wow,
this is things are. I couldn't find a Colt 45. Things are changing these days.
Yeah, you can't really find St. Ides. I mean, even like the kids nowadays aren't drinking Old English. Four Loko was a passing craze.
Breeding in weakness, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
There we go.
Mazel tov.
Yes.
Snooky.
The kids used to watch Shalom Sesame for a while. We're not Jewish, but we used to watch Shalom Sesame because they liked it. And then they would watch Plaza Sesamo in Spanish too. So, so they were going very worldly.
Staying multicultural. Dave, you good?
No, I'm good, man.
Okay.
What do you got, man?
I got my special drink.
Okay.
They already sold on camera.
All right, so a toast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Welcome.
It's always good to be amongst my brethren scum.
Yes, man. Thank you, brother, for coming on. Well, that is nice.
All right.
That's
Let me ask you a question, brother.
Yes.
Where did you get the name Deicide?
Deicide was a name that came about from childhood. When I was in high school, I used to actually hang out with a lot of metalheads. Actually, they're the ones who kind of showed me the ways of the blues in many ways.
Okay.
I remember having a discussion with one of my guitar mentors, who he wound up becoming one of my guitar mentors. But at the time, you're a young kid, you want to shred the guitar, you're like, I want to learn metal. And his reaction was like, start at the blues. That's where you start. You want to learn metal. But these kids would hang out with me, and I guess it was just, I couldn't tell you why, but they started just calling me Deicide, and I think it's just a combination of the alliteration of Darren and D and my natural disposition.
All right. Do you listen to Deicide though?
I've heard them. I wouldn't say I listen to them.
But you're the better Deicide.
Yes.
I'd like to think that. I'm waiting for the cease and desist order any day now.
Yeah. I'm shocked nobody's kicked our door down yet. I mean, I know there's a couple of like electronic artists with using Skvm, the way we spell it, Skvm. But we formed like in 2004. Unfortunately, we were a bunch of kids back then, so we didn't think anything about copyright or trademarking anything.
Well, I'm sure somebody else is doing it also.
Right.
Also,
Right.
Deicide is in the dictionary now.
Yeah.
So what are you going to accuse me of?
Yeah,
It's part of our patois.
Yeah, no, it's true. 100% true. So, Darren, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you're from. A little bit about your background.
Well, I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised, and
South side, north side.
north side.
Okay.
Around the age of like 18, I left the house, and wound up going to Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. I had this harebrained idea that maybe I'm not really a city person and I need to check out the country. Man, what a bad idea. Terrible idea. I remember the day I left that town, there was a KKK rally, so that was very poetic.
Holy shit.
So yeah, I left and I looked east and I looked west. And when I looked west, I kind of saw a group of people and a culture that for some reason I just couldn't relate to on any level. Maybe it was just the softness and the kind of passivity of everything. And
We are from Chicago. I mean, Chicago's a pretty badass fucking city. So.
Well, I felt like when I saw the East Coast and checked it out, I was like, wow, I'm being out badassed here. New Jersey is bar none the best class of assholes I've ever met.
Thank you.
Cool. Specifically Hudson County, man. We're the best assholes. Yeah.
So it just fit like a glove, and I moved to New Jersey and never really looked back. It worked too well. And I actually recently just turned the corner on the equidistant point in my life in which I spent just as much time in New Jersey as I have in Chicago. So I'm now officially, I think I could say I'm from New Jersey now.
You're in New Jersey.
I am in New Jersey.
And you live in whereabouts in New Jersey nowadays?
I live in Jersey City.
Jersey
That's
City?
where I would
Nice.
want to love
Chill
that place.
town.
Chilltown, Jersey is my favorite spot.
It's a very interesting place to live in right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. There's a lot going on over there. I mean, it's cool. There's a lot of stuff they did with like Wade Eagle Hall. It's grossly overpriced to book anything there now. You know what I mean? I don't think it's not really like a place like the Lamppost or like even Lucky's is it's a little clickish to get shows at.
Well, I started doing Hokum over at McKinley Square Pub.
Yeah.
And I'm relaunching it. I'm relaunching it as a production company.
Awesome.
As Hokum Productions, and that's August 19th. I feel like that's a place where we're starting to build our own little corner, because I kind of agree with you. There's been this weird situation with the venues in Jersey City where you either get a place like White Eagle Hall, which is, what's the capacity of that gym? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I mean, what, 5,000-10,000, maybe 10,000. I mean, if you're talking about people on top of each other.
Right. So they're obviously going for a certain caliber of musician, and that really doesn't have a place for the Jersey City musician, or even the Hudson County musician.
No, not at all.
But on the other hand, there are all these places in Jersey City that don't have legitimate sort of stages and setups. There's a lot of house shows going on. There's a lot of warehouse stuff. That's great too.
Yeah,
I love that stuff. But I feel like the McKinley Square Pub thing is like right in the middle because it's a very cool craft beer bar. Yeah. Do you remember when it was Citizen King?
I remember when it was just boarded up.
Yeah. So Angelo, who's actually turned out to be a really good friend, is the guy who saved it, and he's a beer aficionado. So it's a craft beer bar, and everything on tap is local, and everything is $5. It's just amazing. And the back area.
Serious? I'm gonna have to go back to Jersey City.
That's killer. And I've seen that a couple of different bands, friends of ours, have actually played there. Side by Side, one of them that's played there, and
yeah, they were great.
I saw, kind of like just the pictures of it, and the atmosphere looked really cool. So I mean, hopefully, maybe the Hudson County Scumbags will make an appearance there. Who knows?
Well, here's the thing, there's no PA.
Oh, yeah.
It's all Jukast now. So the cool thing about
I got a megaphone.
Yeah, there you go. Sure, yeah. That would be a first. Yeah. We have had so many firsts with Hogan. It's been really cool. We had a girl, Love Underwater. What a cool band. And Layla Bishop plays a harp. So she had loved this gigantic harp that she plays.
That's fucking cool.
And did this it's like punk rock meets harp. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Absolutely.
And another band that's coming to play the launch party is a band called Biblecom. And I never heard anything like Biblecom. They're an amazing group. They're a duo.
Southern band.
Yeah, right. Linda plays sax and Kit plays piano, and they're indescribable. So I had this whole year of doing Hokum, and it was a Sunday showcase.
Okay.
And in that time, we kind of saw all these new acts, and so many more than just your standard dude with guitar. Yeah, dude with acoustic guitar about breakup songs. That sort of thing. So, all these original things came out of the woodwork. So with this Hokum Productions thing, we're really looking to discover alternative roots music. Stuff that is really stripped down, but isn't conforming to the standards and isn't really, your trite and obvious stuff, like the dude with the guitar.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm from Jersey City and stuff, and there hasn't been a local scene in Jersey City, I would say, since like 2003. So I mean, it's good that you're bringing it back. You're actually. Maybe hopefully these fucking kids out there will fucking pick up an instrument or something. Yeah. Instead of picking up fucking, whatever they're fucking picking up, but nobody's playing music no more. You might inspire some of these fucking
picking up a fidget. Picking up a fucking
fidget. There you go. Fucking fidget spinner shit.
Yeah.
Girls used to be the old fidget spinners. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, man. I don't see that many kids wanting to jam out before really even fucking skating or doing much of anything anymore.
They're there, and Hokum dug them out of the woodwork. They're there, but the problem is that the live situation has changed so drastically. So they're not encouraged. I mean, really, at this point, if you're a musician, you're in it for the love. I mean, strictly the love. Because if you come into music. If you're watching this, if you come into music and you think you can make a career out of this, get a fucking job. This is no way to live. Because there's just no tangible way to sell music anymore. It's all digital. And the live world is being really galvanized in this strange way. I think we're exploring something new with it because we really make it a point, and it's even the motto of the Guinness for a pub. No Wi-Fi, talk to each other. We really make it a point. Put your damn phone away and get involved in what we're doing here. And that's kind of the whole punk rock ethos, right?
Absolutely.
It's break down the barrier between the artist and the performer, be a part of the big ritual. It's not just, sit there with your hands folded and digest the music like a consumer.
No.
And too much of this shit has been getting in the way of that. Too much of this. Too much of people acting like amateur cinematographers. And they need to, there's a generation coming up now that doesn't know that there was a world before that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's part of the disconnect, I think. They don't know the potential that music has. The potential to change your life and create new environments.
The little joys you get out of music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was younger, I remember making mixtapes, and I remember it was like
we sound like old fucking codgers.
No, not at all. I just think we.
I still got mixtapes from that.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, it was just it was just such just an innocent, beautiful, cathartic fucking thing. It was just and you literally felt so connected. I mean, I remember before, and as much as I love having all this digital music at the touch of our hands. Like I remember before, like buying an album, saving my money, buying an album, and then just having that fucking album, and that was like my album, and I read the liner notes, and I was just like, and everywhere I went, I took this fucking album, and it was like, and I waited for the next album to come out, and I had this album, you know what I mean?
So wore the shit out of it right before anything.
And there was mystery too, right? Because like you know, you might get a 7-inch, you might get a tape or a CD or something, you hear it, or maybe it's on a compilation or a mixtape, and you're like, what the fuck is this? This is really cool. And somebody then hands you a flyer, and they're like, they're going to be here in like 3 months. You don't know what they look like. You never saw them play live. You have no fucking idea. Nowadays, you can just go on YouTube.
You know the whole
and
story.
you can shortcut everything and be like, I just saw the band live. Well, that kind of took the charm out of it.
Yeah.
Because now I just saw everything, and I'm less motivated to go out and see it in person. And so there's a lot of that going on. But I think the pendulum is going to swing again. I think it always does.
Yeah.
There's always this moment in music history when you look at it that things kind of bloat and get stupid and manufactured and fake.
Boy
And
bands
then,
came out, you know, basically.
right. And then the pendulum swings back. And it always, when it swings back, it goes back to the root. It always goes back to ground zero, the simplest thing. And that's what I try to do with my music. I jump into the crowd and go nuts, and I don't use any fucking effects. I don't need any other fucking band members or anything. We're just gonna play solid Americana, and I'm gonna do it from the balls, and you're gonna go with me. That's my ethos. And I want to see more musicians, and I will bring up more musicians with me on this Hokum thing who are also coming from that same place.
Speaking of your music, though, man, you were on Fox 5 News one time.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
They made the horrible mistake of making me the representative for Punk Island because I was playing Punk Island.
All right.
So they said that they were going to. They needed a punk act, but they didn't want it to be too harsh. So Punk Island, it was part of. Do you know about Punk Island?
Yeah, I had heard that. I actually, our very own Dr. Skvm went there and actually got to see DRI, and he got to hang out with them. And it's really, really cool, you know. And they were just like plugged in, like literally right in front of you, like in the middle of a fucking like parking lot, you know. And a lot of my friends have actually had a chance to go, and I still kick my own ass for not making it for that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, it was part of Make Music New York. I think they realized that if they want to have a giant punk show, they got to throw all the punks on Governor's Island, or else like New York will just turn into a riot. So they went to the Punk Island people and they said, we want a band from Punk Island or a musician, but we don't want somebody who's too abrasive. And one of the stereotypes you get that I hope I smash over time doing what I do is that if you're a solo artist, it must mean that you're, singing songs like "Fly with Me," let's do this, and shit like that. So I think perhaps the producers and the bookers who are behind Punk Island looked at me and said, "Oh, there's this solo guy. He's not going to do anything that'll offend them or do anything too abrasive." So I called up a bunch of my friends. And I said, hey guys, I'm going to be on Good Day New York. Let's have some fun with this. We got in a van, we bought a bottle of Jack Daniels, and the fun began. And I think when we showed up, they had this inkling, like, oh boy, here we go. So they were like, let's have them just kind of go on in the background.
Wow.
So we played while. What's his face?
I don't know who it was.
Mike Woods. That's his name. Mike Woods. Mike Woods does the weather. All right.
So they plan on putting you guys like up front, like up front, like where Mike Woods is.
Like you were gonna have your own
talking?
segment? Or?
Well, no. What they planned on was to have us behind Mike Woods, and Mike Woods was talking. He was sitting there and he was just like, "Hey, I'm out here over with Darren Deicide," and I'm in the background playing, and all my friends are just hammered on Jack Daniels, and doing the cheap pass thing. I'm playing Napalm Death and Fire, and they're getting into it. And you can tell that he's trying to kind of talk over me and do the weather. And at some point, the fervor that we got going, one of my friends just cranked the amp in the middle of it, and it kind of got in the way of the weather report. And Mike Woods, he showed his professionalism there. He really glossed over that one. He was like, man, they're really jamming over here, and it's going to be 80 degrees tomorrow. It was a lot of fun. What else are you going to do with something like that?
You guys got to check that shit out on YouTube, dude. Look it up, bro.
Yeah,
Look it up.
That sounds pretty bad.
Look up Darren Deicide on YouTube, bro. You'll see some of that shit.
Darren, so we also our very own Dave. I mean, this guy, what a fucking guy. I mean,
I'm a decent human being.
He's
I'm a decent human
I
being.
said the same thing.
And he fucking did not leave any stone unturned. I mean, he looked for every little piece of Darren Deicide that he could find. And
It's deep, man. It's deep.
Well, he actually had found out that in 2014 you played at Webster Hall.
Yes.
So tell us about your experience at Webster Hall.
I opened up for the members.
What room was that? I used to work there. I don't remember what room that was.
I don't know. It was the lower floor of the basement. But the members were on tour from England. I mean, there's not too much of a story behind it. I just wound up getting a call from them, and they said, we kind of want to give you a shot. And
They were fans?
pair up with the members.
Webster
I
Hall?
guess they had just heard about me. I don't know.
Webster Hall or the
Pretty
members?
awesome.
No, it was the company Access DB. Yeah, and they were booking the members, and yeah, it was a good time. And I don't know what's going on with Webster Hall these days. What is going on?
Oh, they closed it down.
Yeah,
They're
they
renovations.
closed it down. They're-
For renovations?
Well, no, it's getting renovated because the people that own the Barclays Center bought it.
Ooh.
And now they want to make it kind of like it's gonna be a venue, but it's gonna be like a pop venue.
Here comes Neutral Milk Hotel.
Exactly.
Whatever. The Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, that sounds
You know,
pretty fucking cool.
You think about it, they're taking away all the punk rock spots, all the underground spots.
Auto
They're
Shrunken
taking
Head,
it
dude.
away.
Auto Shrunken Head. It's. I know it's kind of Auto Shrunken Head is kind of a chaos situation. You never know what you're gonna get. But that is a cool bar. That is definitely.
We actually played there quite a long time ago, like in the early days of the Scumbags, and had a blast, man. Just cool, tiki bar, fucking atmosphere. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're cracking down on like all the cool places in fucking New York.
Yeah, well, there's no. It's because it's become a playground for the rich, and the rich have no taste. So everything to the rich is just like what commodity or market value does it have? They don't. But that innately knocks out all the stuff that's challenging and interesting or expressing an alternative point of view. So once you turn Manhattan into Mall Town, that's what you get. So all the artists don't live there. They can't work there. They can't do anything.
They get all the studios there, like music studios.
Yeah, literally, it's like all the fucking music studios are gone, and the scene down on the Lower East Side, everything is like, and you just see like kind of like the remnants, like the ashes. If you go to like Washington Square Park, you see some fucking old punk or like some crusty or something, kind of just like. He's like covered in soot, It's just like, and it's like, who are you, And it's it's like I used to be somebody, It's definitely really, really, really unfortunate.
But all the pollen blew out, and the seeds got planted
Yes.
on the outskirts, and that's what we are.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to be around here. And I don't know what's going to happen with Manhattan or New York. I know that there's a very interesting trend going on because everything has hit such a price ceiling that like shit is vacant everywhere. I don't know if you've been in Manhattan recently. But
I
there's
try to
just
stay away from that fucking joint. I go to Brooklyn or anywhere else, but Manhattan, I stay away from.
I'm free from Manhattan. I have family now. I was born in New York City, so it's like I have roots there.
They're asking for such intense rents now that the storefronts are just empty. Like rows of storefronts are empty, and homeless people are camping out in front of them, or using them for whatever. And there's signs that they've priced everything out. and that could create a pendulum shift. So I don't know.
Oh shit, man! They fucking killed CB fucking Jeebies with a fucking right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they were trying to freaking charge that guy up the ass. Like you would think.
Should have been grandfathered in or something.
Yeah,
Should've
they
been,
turned
you know,
into a landmark,
I think
national treasure.
I think they were like, he started. I think he was paying maybe $1,500. He said when he started. I think when he was ending, they wanted like 40 to 50 grand a month or some shit like that. That place didn't make fucking less than that place didn't make $1,000 a
Well,
week.
a lot of it I think
No.
came from the fact that, like, you know, a lot of these NYU kids were turning into punks. They were like, you know, they're turning into punks, getting hooked on drugs, getting into the fucking scene, and they would forget their fucking studies and, you know, all this money that their parents are paying for them to go to fucking NYU.
But dude, a lot
and
of
they're pissing it away.
brands, bro,
So-
from that motherfucking joint, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was like a blip also, like right after that, with St. Mark's.
Yeah.
Coney Island High.
Yeah, oh
And-
fucking Coney Island.
Yeah,
Shit.
that was great. I remember when Joey Ramone used to do the Green Door, and he on Sunday nights he would just DJ basically a rock and roll dance party, and it was so cool. It was just Joey Ramone hanging out, playing records of his, and those were good times too. But you're right though. Like there's very little left. I mean, Otto's is holding in there. Otto's, if you're watching, I think like what it needs though is like something that gels it together. Like what Otto's is doing is very like fractured. It's a whole bunch of people just kind of going through like a revolving door. But talk to me, Otto's. Maybe it needs like an Otto's fest, or you know, maybe like Hokum and Otto's can come together and we can put on something that would put it under a single banner and say this is what it is.
Create a
Spark it
scene,
up, brother.
create a scene. I mean, you know, kind of get the same people playing every weekend, you know. Create fans, create an atmosphere, create an environment. I mean, I feel like there's none of that, you know, and unfortunately it's like any place that kind of starts to get something going again, it's like something happens and they have to knock it down. Like Pro, you know what I mean? Pro Studios was kind of like a place like that where it was like, you know, there was kind of like a little thing happening there with the showcases and, you know, it's like once everybody started getting hip to it, they're like, well, we got to shut this place down, you know what I mean?
But
Joe's getting out
the
of
funny
hand.
thing was that there was talk about Pro Studios getting knocked out for like, I swear to God, at least like I've been going there since '94, and I mean for about the past 10 years now, there's been a lot of talk about it getting knocked down. Everybody's like, yo, if it hasn't happened now, it's never gonna fucking happen. You know, it's like lo and behold, it's like holy fucking shit, it was real.
It's unfortunate, you know, it really is.
That happens a lot. There's always been like I've heard you know, the Meat Locker.
Yeah, Montclair. Yeah, man.
The Meat Locker, and I swear, like every 6 months I read some article about how it's gonna disappear.
They got
And
busted,
there's so
somebody
many-
got like assaulted, somebody got beat up, or like there's underage kids drinking. Like that was the big problem for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the Meat Locker is such a cool fucking place. It's like this basement, they got these little pianos and all these rooms.
Yeah.
And it's just so much like, I tell you, like some of my most favorite memories there are going to see Sarah from Slaughter, which I'm Dr. Scum with in. And, you know, just the entire room, everybody just fucking spinning around in this fucking circle pit and everybody falling down, picking each other up, and we're running around like maniacs. We're all fucking sweating our ass off, but it was just like, it's just this beauty, man, you know, just like, just this rawness. It was just so wonderful. It was so fucking wonderful. And it's a shame that like places like that, you know, that like provide this getaway for kids, you know, from like the real world, from like the real problems, and you know, just like whatever fucked up situation they're trying to escape, you know, it's like people just want to take it away because it's like, well, this might be trouble, or you know, it's
And
just,
see, you know, the thing is like the positive end of this whole technological paradigm. Like we've been talking about all the shitty parts of it, right? The positive end is like this. I hope you're watching this out there and you get a little inspired because you can actually, like you said, like get out there, make a scene, like talk about what's going on, and talk about what's going on in the real world, not the manufactured world, not the kind of world that's you know, shoved down your throat every day by corporations or whatever is mass produced. You know, talk about the reality of things, and when you do, it does wind up getting a little bit more gritty, honest, a little bit more honest, and that's when we start to see things that matter. That's when we see these peaks in music where the ugly head of rock and roll kind of rears up and it rebels against everything that's going on. And so, you know, understand what the nature of the beast is, this whole thing, that whole thing, whatever it is, and use it to your advantage, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think now this is very DIY what the fuck we're doing right now. You know what I mean? It's like
right.
It's like we're putting our music out there for people to fucking hear. You know what I mean? I got people, friends of mine in fucking Barcelona, Spain. I got friends of mine in fucking England. I got friends all over the world that can just tune in and watch this. You know what I mean? And like they don't have to fucking be here, but they're here. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially the beauty of it all. But
You need some more beer, bro.
I think so. God damn it, Darren. Thank you. Darren, we'd like to talk to you about 2015 and the cemetery and your cemetery shows. That's definitely one thing we'd definitely like to talk to you about.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, we are going to cut to a commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be coming back with Darren Deicide. We'll be getting into some more of Darren's music career and a couple of other special segments that we got lined up for you. So we'll be right back with you motherfuckers.
Well, don't change that dial. You're listening to Hudson County Scum Talk with the Hudson County Scumbags. Oh, yeah.
And we are back with Hudson County Scum Talk with the Hudson County Scumbags and our guest, Mr. Darren Deicide. Darren, before we cut to commercial break, we kind of started talking a little bit about the cemetery shows in 2015. Tell us a little bit about the cemetery shows going on at Dickinson High School or underneath Dickinson High School or around it.
Well, little known fact, I'm going to stroke my own dick right now, okay? I was the first person to organize a show at Parsons Cemetery.
How the hell did you get that? I always thought, like, do people really run that fucking place? It was always empty.
Yeah, actually, Eileen Markenstein, who is the head of the board of directors for the board of trustees that are responsible for maintaining our
Do they
site.
know the kids are behind us smoking weed stuff? Sorry.
Spots, man. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, we're not legal yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah, soon enough. Murphy for governor.
Go Booker. Hey,
Yeah.
Cory Booker, if you're watching this, good
Nice
job, guy.
He's a vegetarian, Cory Booker.
He is a vegetarian.
And he does not drink alcohol. Nice guy. Great guy.
Well, they can't be perfect.
No, none of them are. None of them are.
Please smokes weed.
I'm pretty sure from the legislation that don't blow up your spot.
Yeah. Christy looks like he smokes weed and gets the munchies a little too much, but let's not talk about him.
Christy looks like he does fucking cocaine. Christy looks like, he had a bypass and he's still that fat.
Yep. That's hilarious.
He's like Jabba the Hutt, you know?
He just-
Yeah, I saw that thing recently about him being at a Brewers Cubs game. He went up to this Cubs fan, and I guess as a Chicagoan, I'm sure you'd appreciate it, but he was heckling him, the Cubs fan.
Good job, Chi-Town.
He's giving him some shit,
Did you see him catch the foul ball and get booed?
Yeah.
Christy?
He'll fucking get booed anywhere. I mean, he's just a
What the
Mets
fuck are
piece
you
of
doing?
shit.
What are you doing over there?
Well, his son works with the Milwaukee Brewers, actually. He works with the Milwaukee Brewers, and he gets invited to come out to games. Pardon me. And I guess since his term is winding down, he's got a little bit more free time. I mean, pretty much have fucking free time like his governor did do shit.
He has relatives that are involved in medical cannabis, and that's part of the reason that they're stalling everything. There are only seven dispensaries in the state of New Jersey, and his relatives are involved.
Yeah, you gotta be dying to get it.
Yeah, that's the
in
thing,
New Jersey.
which is
Yeah.
unfortunate, because there's a lot of people that, could use medical marijuana.
Me.
And not only that, but I mean, not only that,
We all can use some medical marijuana.
not only that, but there's so many non-violent offenders that just get locked up and put in the system. So many young kids that it's just they want to puff on a fucking joint a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's
How many people a year die from alcohol poisoning?
Right.
I mean, we're totally legal and got the go-ahead for this.
Tobacco.
How many people have died from cannabis overdose?
None.
Overdosed on munchies.
And you take a look at
Don't blame the cannabis, right?
you take a look at Colorado, you take a look at Washington. I mean, especially Colorado with all the money that they've made. It's
Yes,
just
and Booker's
so
pointing
lucrative.
this out. Booker is pointing it out. So my kudos to him because he's pushing the Marijuana Justice Act through right now, which will reschedule cannabis and also decriminalize it on the federal level. If he does that, this is going to explode. But
I'm
we also have a
curious.
retarded Republican Congress, So
that
who knows
too.
that it would even work.
I think they're leaving it up to the state, though. You know what I mean? I think they're leaving it up as of now.
They
But
should
I mean,
leave it up to the people.
with
The
this-
fucking people vote.
With this administration, you can't really fucking tell. But my real question is like, what are they going to do with all these people who have records? Are they going to expunge them?
That's actually part of the Marijuana Justice Act that he's proposing. He wants to expunge marijuana records. So yeah.
See,
Look,
look,
America.
record anymore, Pat.
What?
So hang tight, America. New Jersey's about to save your ass, potheads.
That's right. That's right. So, Darren, getting back to
Yes.
the Hudson.
Oh yeah, cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I walked through the gates of the cemetery one day, and
What made you do that? What made you like?
well, I had heard the rumor that the cemetery was being taken over by a group of people, and that they were interested in revamping it and getting everything going again. But I went in there actually with the intention of wanting to do a benefit show for the cemetery. And I met Eileen, who's now the director of the board of trustees. And when I walked in, I just started talking about I'd like to support what you're trying to do here. It sounds cool. We need more green space in Jersey City. We can't just bulldoze everything and put a fucking condo on it. Let's actually have some respect for history. And Hartsmith has a very interesting history. And she kind of threw it out there. She was like, this actually used to be a place. And this is kind of a strange part of American history that a lot of people don't know about. I did research on this. But people used to do events in cemeteries. That was a thing in America.
Huh?
Yeah, it was like a place where, we're kind of like death phobic now in some ways.
Among many other phobias we have.
Yeah. So and people used to look at cemeteries, especially that style of cemetery, which is called like a landscape style cemetery, as like places where you can have carnivals and do events, and sometimes they would do music shows. And it just brainstormed into Eileen, well, why don't you just do the benefit here? And I wouldn't have even thought of that, and I was like, sure, let's do it. So it was me and Nathan Carpenter and a couple other, I think Beelman, who's from Buckland, and a few other musicians that don't exist anymore, that we put a show together, and we had a generator puttering in the background, and we used that for our power, and there were maybe 15 people there. And ever since then, and we did more shows also afterwards, but ever since then, that became a model for arsonists, a way for them to raise money to keep doing what they're
I
doing.
know they do Halloween. They do Halloween events.
The Ghost of Uncle Joe's.
Yeah. There you go. Uncle Joe, do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was a good fucking joint, bro.
This show is clearly
No,
not people from Hudson
it's a
County.
fucking it's a condo or a parking lot now, man. But that
Oh,
place,
it's gone.
That
Yeah.
place fucking ruled.
I saw Against Me there back in the day, with maybe 20 people, 30 people.
Yeah, I never. I've seen bands there that probably don't even fucking exist anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, all local bands.
That was a fun place.
That was a good fucking.
And
joint,
Dancing
man.
Tony, who does the Ghost of Uncle Joe's. Hey, Dancing Tony. He.
Can we get a whoa, Dancing Tony?
Whoa, Dancing Tony!
Yeah, he got that name because he would always be the guy who would roll into Uncle Joe's late at night and be dancing by himself. And it's Dancing Tony, and that's why I'm pretty sure. I remember talking to him about it once, but that's why it's called the Ghost of Uncle Joe's.
I like that name.
Homage.
No, my question is, it's people hear this, they hear a show at the center. I mean, were you guys performing on top of somebody's fucking grave? I mean, where exactly were you performing?
Now, there's a driveway that goes through it. There's a big concrete area, so the concrete is where everything takes place. But yeah, people do kind of hang out at graves too. Sorry.
I think it's disrespectful, man.
I don't think so either. I feel like I feel like a necromancer. Like I'm communing with the dead when I'm
I
there.
love that fucking word, necromancer. Is it a word? Or is it words? I don't know. Necromancer. It's like.
Oh, is there a
That's a word.
Yeah, I think
Necromancy.
it's one word.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was two words. Yeah, I don't know.
Like never feel it.
I just read comic books. Although Doctor Strange, he was a fucking necromancer.
That's what called that. What was Necro something?
No, that was Necro Butcher.
Oh, Necro Butcher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pot
yeah.
leaf tattoo. He used to
I'm
smash
sorry.
light bulbs over people's heads. Hell of a guy, Dylan Summers. Quality fucking dude. Quality fucking dude. So, I mean, it definitely sounded like, you did a lot of really cool stuff over at Parsoness, and, as well as your involvement with the Jersey City music scene. Now, we're going to hit you with a couple of quick-fire questions here.
All right.
Mainly two. Just mainly two. All right?
On the draw. Let's go.
Are you a Chicago sports fan?
No.
No? Not even the Bears? Bears.
Da Bears.
All right. Look, maybe I'll cheer for the Bulls once in a while, but I don't really watch sports. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not a sports kind of person. I don't really get it.
Someone like me. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a sports nut.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
I've always felt like whenever I watch sports, maybe it's the alcohol, but I always have this moment of clarity where I'm just like, why am I rooting for a team? I don't know anyone on the team. I don't really have a connection to them other than like this kind of like vague jingoistic, like, oh, they're Chicago. It never really resonated with me. I don't know. It just doesn't. And I like playing sports. That's cool. But
What do you like to play?
besides Lindy Hop, that's not really sports. No, I used to play baseball when I was a kid. I just like baseball. But yeah, I'll play it. I like being physical.
As a North Sider, did you at least root for the Cubs?
Oh, of course, yeah. I was a Cubs fan.
I can't believe they won the fucking World Series.
Yeah, right?
I thought that was.
It's like they're like cursed.
The end of the world now, man.
Remember the Bill Buckner thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that was.
I'm from Chicago. I'm legit.
I mean, I remember the fucking. But the Mets did us. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, so everybody hates the fucking Yankees. Whatever. I grew up a Yankee fan. It's like I'm used to it by now. But fuck the Red Sox. Fuck Boston. That's all I'm gonna say. And book the scumbags up in Boston so we could go fucking play. We'll wear full-blown fucking Yankees gear. Bring it, motherfuckers.
I second that emotion. Fuck Boston. Sorry, Boston. I'll see you at the next swing dance, brother.
Shit fucking happens. Tell us a little bit about Darren and Ethel.
Darren and Ethel. Well, Ethel is she's a fabulous woman who is my dance partner, and also just in my other partner in many ways. We're actually, I might be blowing the spot up a little bit, but we're in the works of a new project.
Interesting.
I'll just say that and then carry it. So other than that, we are also swing dancers, sometimes instructors, sometimes competitors. It's a lot of fun. That is something that I ran into in sort of like what I consider my advanced rock and roll studies. Like I'm interested in Americana. I'm interested in the traditions of of blues and jazz and rock and roll and all the things that inform my own music. So in going back in the timeline and studying this stuff, I somehow ran into swing dancing. Actually, my ex-girlfriend got me a free lesson, and that was God, how long ago was that? I don't know. That was a long time ago. It's all a blur now. And the bug hit me. Like as soon as I started, and I never really turned back. And I do that, like I don't know if you guys do this as musicians. Like you dabble in other genres,
Yeah, absolutely.
in other things related to the genre.
I was a rapper. At one point.
Boom.
It's
Yeah,
just
there
like
you go.
fuck it. I went in and named Dynamite Kid after my favorite fucking wrestler.
MC Dynamite Kid.
No, I was just Dynamite Kid, and I'd come on and I'd rap on songs. I rapped with Paulie Hustle, Mr. Paulie Hustle, and Gritty Records, and that was really fucking cool because it was just like, fuck it, why not? You know what I mean?
And I think the true musician does that. Like
Yeah.
they're a muse. Like they have to follow the muse, and that informs their creativity. It gives them new inspirations and ways of thinking of things. And one day I started swing dancing, and it opened Pandora's box. It just all of a sudden I was like, wow, this is fucking awesome. It's making me understand music in ways that I hadn't looked at it before. And then I competed a couple times and I won. And it just all of a sudden changed some things.
It's like it's meant to be, man.
Yeah. And then when I started dating Ethel, she caught the bug. And,
That's a fucking awesome name, by the way, man.
Well, she's from roller derby. She's a roller derby veteran. Her derby name is Ethylene Oxide.
Wow, that's fucking cool, man.
Yeah. So ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide is a very combustible material, and that's what she is.
Yeah, she was really cool. I mean, like when we actually met you guys on the roof of Pearl, my wife and I, and we were talking to you as well as Mr. Josh Wells, who gave us a great introduction that night. It was just really cool to like chat it up that night. Another thing that we actually talked about that night was about the Warped Tour and the Dickies and what had happened with them. So tell us a little bit about, elaborate a little bit about our conversation that we had had on the roof about that.
I probably had a few, so I don't remember the specifics. We were probably just bitching and moaning about what had happened to the Dickies and the phenomenon surrounding what's going on with the Warped Tour. Safe spaces. Safe spaces. Do you guys feel safer now? Safe spaces. Who the fuck lives in a world with safe spaces? I mean, you guys have a song called Emo Fag Holocaust, so I know where you're saying about this.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. It's like, like we were talking about that night. It's like you go to these kind of shows to like let off steam, to have like no boundaries, to kind of like be uncensored, and it's like you're trying to like censor people, and it's like not only that, but it's like this is like the Dickie shtick, man. Like it's like
and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it is that like as you're right. They're like fucking infants. People, these spoiled people who thought that life would always just be like safe and no one would offend you, and your feelings are always legitimate. If you feel something, it must be true. So like all these people like they for the longest time have been enforcing their safe spaces and whatnot on other scenes, because this is actually a conflict in the swing scene also.
Really?
Yes, it came up in the swing scene. But the second that you try to do that shit to punk rock, oh, you got war, baby. I love it. I think it's great. We're experiencing the civil war that is going to define what punk rock is, and those people I think picked the wrong fucking scene to try to do this to, because that is what punk rock is. You exactly defined it right there. That was the place where I could call my gay friend a faggot and not get shit from anybody, right. Because like I knew where he was coming from, and he knew where I was coming from, because I'm not even gay. People on the street would call me a faggot,
Right.
So I was just like, it's kind of like what the hip hop scene did with the term nigger, right? They reclaimed it in a lot of ways. Now, I'm just bringing this up because punk, for some of us, is this place where no matter what, we knew we wouldn't be policed. We knew that we could express ideas and say things that might be offensive, they might challenge us, they might be iconoclastic. But that's why we're there. We're there to express these points of view. So the second you bring in this idea that we're going to police language, we're going to police behavior, it creates a very big quandary, and I think the reaction is very legit. There is a group of people. They don't think of themselves as like the heirs of Tipper Gore and the PMRC, but they would love to control what it is that we say in music. And they are in different clothing, Tipper Gore.
Absolutely. It's like they have better disguises now. And it's like, look, I'm one of you, but they don't say that, motherfucker. And I'm not going to say motherfucker because I don't want to offend mothers that get fucked. It's just like, it's like
mothers that get fucked are happy mothers.
Yes, absolutely they fucking are. I mean, they're slightly miserable because they have to deal with kids, but I mean, whatever. That's a whole other fucking ball.
But the fucking is like,
fucking, yes.
Yeah, it's like a consolation.
Right.
And us motherfuckers are willing to give that solace to them.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't.
Mothers in America, we're motherfuckers.
I'm a motherfucker. And, I'm married. Anyways, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like that shit really just like chaps my ass.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's Warped Tour.
The fucking Warped Tour, yeah.
Are we gonna let Warped Tour define punk rock?
No. It's punk rock fucking daycare, and it's like it's like intro to punk rock. It's like, hey kids, you know, go have fun, be a rebel. You know, it's just like that's not fucking. I mean, there's so many other fucking things you can go to that. No.
And you know, I think it's just a general trend that's going on right now. There was a Gallup poll, Pew Research did a poll where they asked various people, random sample groups from different generations. They asked them the question, do you think that people who say things that are offensive to minority groups should be banned from saying them? And the skew on yes and no is huge. Like people who are in their 60s to 80s, I think it was like 81% said, yeah, they should be allowed to say that without being banned. And then you just see the skew all the way to like millennials. And millennials, I think like 20% said yes. So there's...
I mean, I'm a millennial, you know. I mean, I was born in 1984, so it's like I fall under that category. But on the same token, it's like I understand, like people have the right to say whatever the fuck they want, and even if I don't fucking agree, like the KKK, for example, they can fucking have their rallies, they can fucking get together, they can do whatever the fuck they want with the people that feel the way they fucking feel. You know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter. They can get together, they can do whatever the fuck it is that they want. They can have their fucking celebrations and stuff like that, and their get-togethers. That's fine. But it's like, once you try to hurt people, that's when you fucking cross the line. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Once you try to hurt people and force your fucking beliefs on people who don't fucking follow your shit, then there's a fucking problem. But all in all, these people should be able to gather and do what the fuck it is that they want to fucking do. And fucking,
speech only works for the speech that you disagree with. If you believe in freedom of speech, then it applies solely and perfectly and directly to the people you disagree with. You ask yourself this right now: what is the speech that you completely disagree with? Do you defend their right to have that speech? If your answer is yes, then you agree with freedom of speech. If your answer is no, you need to sit down and think more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that that's a major problem nowadays. You know what I mean? It's like so many people just like, I don't know if it's like they want to be against something just to be against something, but it's like, fucking think about it, man. Like, motherfuckers like should be able to get together and like just express their feelings. You know what I mean? And like have a right to fucking say what they want to say. And like, I think through understanding and through being able to have a conversation with somebody that you don't necessarily agree with, you can perhaps try and understand other things that you wouldn't be open to, and they can do the same thing as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, social media politics is changing. It's like the people, they kind of leverage it in certain ways. We live in this kind of Orwellian world where it's like ideas. People aren't interested in free exchange of ideas anymore. No. They're just interested in this kind of identitarian tribalism where they just kind of force each other's fucking dicks down each other's
pushing a fucking idea, no matter what.
How many people have unfriended you on Facebook because of something you said? Were they ever
shit and everything?
Right. So therein lies a great example, right? Because it's like they didn't like you, they didn't want an exchange of information or ideas. They just wanted to see where you stood on things, and then they wanted to leverage media in a fashion that would work in their favor, because that's what it is. People, we're entering this very interesting information saturation kind of world, and in that world, we don't know exactly, because the expediency of information is so quick, we don't know what's true or what's not true. So people are they're really prone to confirmation bias. They look for the things that apply to their already predisposed worldview, and they disseminate that, and they don't even fact check it. It's probably on Snopes already, and and then everyone like thumbs it up, and then it's like this big mob. It's like yeah, and it's just,
and then like somebody chimes in, and it's like hashtag fake news, and it's just like I don't know, man. I mean. Look, I mean, like
so now, full circle back to the Dickies thing.
Yeah.
So there are pieces of information that people don't know about that. Like, for example, the person who was protesting the Dickies, which started that entire situation that wound up on video, where God told him that, you fuck farm animals that were hotter there. That girl was associated with the organization called Safer Scenes. And that Safer Scenes organization is the one that Shauna Potter from More on Women did the GoFundMe on. Oh, wow, doesn't that work out nicely? Which one got what, 10 grand on GoFundMe? I think it was 10 grand. Which, obviously Warped Tour promoted.
We can't even get fucking $20 and somebody to fucking help us out. We
Right?
can't even get a fucking...
Niggas be fucking banging down the highway, can't get 50 cents.
It's horrible, but we can't get a goddamn fucking thing nowadays.
$10,000 to I don't know, tell some guy in the mosh pit that his accidental boob grab was assault.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and talking about, performance and stuff like that, that's really, we have a similarity, scumbags, and as well as yourself and your work. I mean, we like to be antagonistic in the crowd. We like to get a reaction. We like to provoke thought, you know what I mean? To provoke the audience, because normally, you look out at an audience while you're performing, and everybody's just standing there, just looking around, or they're looking at something else, or they're talking to somebody else, or they're looking at their phone, or, they're like trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to eat afterwards. And it's like, you want the audience to be interactive, you want the audience to be part of the fucking show. And I feel like provoking the audience, in a sense, really kind of draws them in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. It's also like, it's kind of like a form of comedy in a way, because it's like, there's a lot of self-denigration going on, there's a lot of like, it breaks down a lot of barriers. I think it's part of what I would call the punk spirit, but the punk spirit is really part of this entire lineage that exists within rock and roll that started at the blues, because like even the early blues guys were provocateurs.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you take like Robert Johnson, for example. He associated himself with the devil, and he wrote these songs that were like, he was like, we take it for granted now, like R. Kelly writes a song about like his car, and like how his car is like the same thing as his woman, and he likes to drive it around, and stuff like that. The Terraplane Blues by Robert Johnson was about the model of Ford called Terraplane, and he talked about like, how he hits the gas and he can't get the engine running, and he's getting under her hood and he can't get. He's talking about how he's like trying to turn a girl on and he can't fucking turn her on, and that's the blues at the time was challenging innuendo. Through innuendo, it was challenging sexual norms. It was challenging what could be expressed about them, but it was doing it very subtly. It was doing it on this like cultural warfare level, and that's a plane that is the mantle of what is rock and roll. And rock and roll is really just the baby of blues. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And now it's birthed all these like monstrosities like metal.
They say rock and roll is the devil's music, and the devil's music came from the blues, didn't it, man?
And the devil is an adversary.
Yeah.
That's actually, Satan literally means adversary. It's Hebrew for adversary. So when we're provocateurs on stage, we're being devils. We're being Satans. That exactly is what it is. And
Heard
that's
it right here, folks. Anybody in the rock and roll scene, you're all devils.
That's right. We're here to fuck with you and make you think a little bit, and that's great. That's the whole promise of rock and roll. It was, Chuck Berry even did it too. I mean, at the time, like, Chuck Berry is writing all these songs about, living good and wild.
Maybelline is like, it's like about a car too, but it's also about a
girl.
girl.
Yeah.
It's
that
true.
innuendo, that entendre, and like, so like, Chuck Berry also, like, here he is, he's this guy, and he's playing like really ramped up country music, and he's playing it really fast.
Duck walking,
and it's like, doing all this shit that, is
Duck Walk Blues like 80.
yeah, he was amazing. I saw him live. He was incredible. But like, also think about this, right? Like, you hear that record, and it's like, here's a guy playing this high octane, like fast country with like blues all over it, and you think like, he's talking to 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds. There's probably these 16-year-old, 18-year-old white girls walking home with these Chuck Berry records, and then one day their parents go through their record collection and see a black man on the cover, talking to their 16, 18-year-old white girl about, sexual innuendo. that's what we do as people who are carrying this legacy.
I love it.
We're
Man.
here.
I'm the fucking devil. I love it.
Venom was fucking right. We're in league with Satan, man. You know what I mean? So we've had kind of an ongoing theme through our first 2 episodes, and now with this 3rd episode, and we got to ask the $1 million question.
Okay.
How do you feel about OJ?
How do I feel about OJ?
Or where were you when OJ happened?
I mean, my instant reaction was Naked Gun was really cool.
Norbert! Norbert was fucking awesome!
Yeah, that was by far the Juice's pinnacle moment.
Enrico Palazzo, you know?
Yeah, Enrico Palazzo.
The fucking like watch program and Reggie Jackson, the fucking killer. I mean, like, who the fuck thinks that? And Leslie Nielsen. I mean, just awesome.
He is great. Have you ever? I don't know if you've seen the original Police Squad episodes because it's the Takeoff Police Squad.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're fucking hilarious.
I never got a chance to. I mean, like my parents are they're older now. You know, I mean, like my father would have been in like his mid-70s, maybe rest in peace. And I'm representing my dad's hometown, Santurce, here in the Santurce Cangrejeros. And my mom, she's in her early 70s. So I mean, like I used to watch like, Green Acres, and fucking Mr. Ed, and Happy Days, and all that stuff, and like Ozzie and Harriet. So it was just like. But I never got a chance to watch fucking Police Squad. It was always on when I'd go to sleep.
All right, well, you gotta come over because I have it all on DVD. All the
I'm down,
seasons.
man. I'm totally fucking
Because I am a big fan of Leslie Nielsen. He is the king.
Airplane. Oh my god, Airplane is fucking great. Shirley, you can't be serious. Yes, I'm serious. Don't call me Shirley.
I even have a VHS tape. I have a collection of movies, and I have a VHS tape called Leslie Nielsen Does Bad Golf, and it's a golf instructional video with Leslie Nielsen. It's fucking great. And it's just him going around a golf course in like a cart doing just ridiculous Leslie Nielsen jokes, and it's
I always used to try to like imitate like his line when he would like come into the cabin and be like, I just want to let you know we're all counting on you. Like I always used to do that like at all my jobs, and people be like, what the fuck?
You had so many good lines, right?
Oh,
what did the passengers have for dinner? Oh, they either had fish or steak. That's right, I had lasagna.
Dude, and like Robert Stack when he came in the fucking airport, when he like whooped everybody's ass in the fucking airport. I mean, I was just like,
Juice for Jesus.
oh my god, dude, that was just like
Scientology.
yeah, like fucking like Unsolved Mysteries. I remember that with the fucking theme song.
Yes,
dude, that was just, and it was just like nobody was ever found alive. That was just like such a great fucking show. But Darren, we definitely want to continue talking with you a little bit more, and we're going to get into our next section. What's that?
I was just gonna say.
Oh, too sweet me, bro. Too sweet me, bro. We're going to get into our next section after this, and what we're going to be talking about is a special section that I have written specifically for this episode, and we're going to get into our favorite top 5 musicians, influences, and we're going to get into it right after this.
And more about the Juice.
Maybe a little bit more about the Juice. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll be back with you after this commercial break.
This is President Donald J. Trump, and you're listening to Hudson County Scum Talk with the Hudson County Scumbags. Believe me, they're gonna make scum great again.
Yo, motherfuckers, we're back with Hudson County Scum Talk with the Hudson County Scumbags and our man, Mr. Darren Deicide. Yeah. So anyways, before we left for our commercial break, we started kind of talking about our top 5 artistic influences. Not necessarily musical, but artistic influences. Mine are a little bit more maybe musical, but Darren, since you're our guest on the show, you can kick it off. Who are your top 5 artistic influences?
As a musician, you get asked this question a lot.
Yeah.
And it's always very difficult for me because if any of you or you guys came to my house, you would see a huge collection of music. Like stacks of vinyl, my bar, all that stuff laid out. And I collect 78 records, and I'm really into music in the broadest sense. So it's very whenever the question comes up, what is your biggest influence, or what are your top 5 influences? I always have a hard time with it because I feel like a sponge, you know, like I take in from as much as possible. So it's very difficult to answer that question. I would be a complete liar if I didn't say that John Lee Hooker was like somebody who showed me how to stomp the boogie out in the way that the blues could boogie. And I would be a liar if I didn't say that Robert Johnson was like somebody who not only pokes people in the way that we were talking about earlier, you know, that I also like to do, or that he's such a pioneer in the blues too. He's perhaps at the base of rock and roll itself. I'd be a liar if I didn't mention the Sex Pistols in a funny way, who, you know, kind of just appeared for like 1 or 2 years and just blew everything up and redefined how we understand rock and roll. There are just so many.
And abandoned it, just like walked away. They're like, you know, this isn't fun anymore. This is boring. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was just like, wow.
They were meant to just exist in that moment.
Yeah.
And because, you know, Johnny Rotten.
So he tried to come back with some of the shit with this one.
Public Image Limited, he did that.
Public Image I thought was pretty cool, man.
But you know, respect to him in the sense that Public Image Limited wasn't just like Sex Pistols redo, you know.
Right.
It really was something completely different.
Yeah.
He's in that sense, he's trying to be an artist. You know, he's not just doing a shtick.
Right.
But there's so much. I could go on and on. Lou Jordan, you know, the Ramones we mentioned earlier, all the way to fucking Beethoven. It's just, I mean, it could really go everywhere. Leg Belly, Blind Blake.
It's difficult to just
Minor
like,
Threat.
Yeah.
Let's go there. You know, I could go all over the place because to me, again, like I brought up earlier, it's part of this long lineage.
Yeah.
This one thing that we're all exploring. I just want to be a part of that one thing. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for me, as a vocalist, I mean, there's so many like vocalists that like I really like admire and in a sense are an influence to like my style. You know, like HR from the Bad Brains, you know, Henry Rollins, you know, Glenn Danzig, Mike Patton. Mike Patton to me is like one of the most fucking eclectic fucking musicians out there.
You guys know who I saw like 2 weekends ago? Primus.
Nice, yeah. See, like,
I've always thought that band was just so interesting, so different than anything that's ever existed, and yet at the same time, there's something about them intuitively that I'm like, that's pretty fucking rock and roll. I don't know what it is, but that's a band that just like they're exploring new terrain.
Definitely. I mean, Les actually was doing a project with Sean Lennon, who's the son of another one of my influences, John Lennon. And John Lennon, you know, I have a special connection with John Lennon because my mom was a hairdresser over on 72nd Street at a place called Visa V's back in the day. My mom washed John Lennon's hair and got John Lennon's autograph. Met him in 1979, and it was like a very special moment. You know, she just basically told me about how humble he was and just like how he was really giving praise to guys like Little Richard, Chuck Berry, you know, like guys that like influenced him, you know, and he felt like he was kind of like minuscule, you know, in comparison to them, and you know, it's just I just like the humility in him, you know, it's just so cool, and that special connection. And I actually have a picture of John Lennon in my kitchen, and you know, he was one guy to me that was just like incredibly influential. Obviously, you know, literary works. I mean, you know, Hunter S. Thompson to me, you know, was just like just so interesting, so like iconoclastic, just like such a fucking badass, man. You know, like his approach to just like writing, his style, everything was just like just so fucking incredible. And
I mean, literary, and I'd have to say Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
I just really like to find Gothic Americana in a lot of ways, and it was just so.
And wrote such beautiful poetry. I mean, not just like not just like his darker pieces, but like, you know, A Dream Within a Dream. It's just like just so beautiful to read, you know, and poetry in general. I mean, obviously, you know, Jim Morrison, you know, his poetic works I thought were just as great as the stuff that he did with the Doors.
I love this like blip of moment that happened in the 1960s with what we call psychedelia. Psychedelia was amazing. I mean, bands like Count Five and The Open Mind. I feel like in many ways Primus took that secretly as an influence and took that torch and ran with it. But yeah, bands like the
Ken Kesey, you know, guys like that, you know, like
Chocolate Watch Band. That's a band. Bands like there's so many that got lost. They disappeared. Question Mark and Mysterious.
Yeah.
Bands like
almost like one-hit wonders, really, you know, in a sense.
Well, yeah, like the Nuggets compilation showed a lot about who those people were, but like they planted the seeds for punk rock.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like the unsung heroes, and that was at a time when like the hippies were kind of running around talking about peace and love, and you know they were more just they weren't idealists.
Yeah.
They were just more interested in rocking. And, you know, that kind of hit full throttle by the time punk rock hit, which was totally just like, yeah, whatever, just no one has.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Hank Williams obviously is another guy, too, that's huge to me, man.
Hank Williams is punk as fuck.
Yeah, man, he was like so fucking ahead of his. I mean, like, I remember reading something about, he wrote Cold Cold Heart, and Tony Bennett covered it. And he called Tony Bennett and was like, what's the deal with you ruining my fucking song? You know, and it's like, you're calling Tony Bennett and telling him he's ruining your fucking song. I mean, you're a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, like, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Dave, how about you, man?
Shit. First band, first thing that caught my fucking eye was when I was growing up was Kiss. Kiss, man. I was like the fucking shit, my older brother. Posters, everything. Kiss and Star Wars. I got that from my older brother. Kiss and Star Wars, man. You know, but then when I started getting into my own shit after, you know, rocking smashes, thrashes, and hits, and hot in the shade until I was a freshman in high school, I jumped in before Nirvana. I was still in it, deep into The Cure. You know, fucking like all that new wave stuff, man. Robert Smith, Bauhaus, all that shit, man. I was like, dude, I'm eating it up, bro, man. You know, but. You know, we used to eat that shit up, man. Going to the concerts and stuff, man. Going to the.
What was with that?
Yeah.
What'd you do, barrier or something?
No, I can't mention the G word.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I thought. You know, we used to. I mean, the bank was an influence, man. The bank, the fucking club, the bank. I went there at fucking 18, so you know, I was going to mention my Kidius. You know, that was like a big goth fucking joint right there on East Houston. You know, and I mean that place was fucking super. It was like that was like the adult QXTs, man. That was like the exclusive. When you went there, you were exclusive, bro. You had to be like it felt like you had to be invited.
Yeah,
to get that
we should tell
joint.
people about it.
You know,
yeah, it's kind of a random thing that came up. The QXTs over in Newark. It's kind of carrying the torch for a lot of alternative stuff. You know, I mentioned Bible Gun earlier. They just played QXT.
Yeah.
They're starting to do shows now.
They do rock shows there?
They're doing live shows now.
You
yeah.
also mentioned
they're starting to really become a very interesting place.
Muddy Roots you had mentioned as well, too.
Yes, well, Muddy Roots, yeah. I'm going there. I'm going there as part of my tour, which is starting on August 25th.
Awesome.
And it's going to go to September 10th, and I'm going to, in the process, be at Muddy Roots Festival. I'm also playing Black Swamp Arts Festival over in Bowling Green, Ohio. And I'm playing Chicago, Cincinnati, Detroit, Louisville, Nashville. It's going to be great. If you're out there, and you want to look it up, it's the Blues Non Este Mortum in America tour. It's going to be fun. And I'll have the new record with me.
Awesome, man.
buy that record, dude.
Yeah, you definitely have to check out Darren's new record on vinyl, and you get a free download card with that, but you didn't hear that from me. Darren, we'd like to talk to you about your new record. And we're going to be playing one of your tracks here on Hudson County Scum Talk. Talk to us about My Star Spangled Banner.
I wrote that song with a little bit of help from Nathan Gray from Boy Sets Fire. We had just sort of met each other and through associations, and he saw me play at Mojo 13 over in Wilmington, Delaware, and we hung out, and he was just like, that was a great set, and I'd love to do some stuff with you, and then we just kept talking, and I had this riff that I had been milling over, and he was like, well, come down, we'll record and play with it, and we did. I went down to Delaware, and he riffed on it, and he gave me some really good advice on it. But it's a song about, it's a song in many ways that I consider like my own declaration of independence. I think a lot of what's going on in America could be rectified if people just went back a little bit and thought about what it means to be an American, what American means, what the ideals are, what it is that created the revolution. You know, if you want to be cynical about the American Revolution, you could say, well, it was just like an exchanging of the guard, right? It was just one political body, one state for another. But if you want to be a little bit less cynical about it, it actually did mean something in a principled sense, in terms of ideals. And so, My Star Spangled Banner is kind of my own declaration of independence, my own idea. And I think more people need to do that now, because look at the state of the world, look at the state of the country. It's in a place where it's so far removed from any of that.
I feel like it was necessary, though, as unfortunate as it is. It was like, I don't know, I feel like this needed to happen.
What's going on now?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's going to be some sort of...
Reading out the journals?
Well, I mean, it depends. It depends what you're looking at it from, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, I just feel like this needed to happen. I feel like people were too, like, asleep. I feel like people were just too comfortable. I feel like it was just like everybody was just kind of too, like, I don't know, it's just like everybody's on fucking autopilot, you know? And it's like now
They still are, though.
yeah, absolutely, to an extent. But I feel like now people are kind of starting to wake up a little bit, you know, maybe for the wrong reasons, maybe for the right reasons. I don't know, but it's like, fuck, at least they're trying to be involved in something. You know what I mean?
Well, I would like to see them be involved in a manner in which they're not deferring to politicians.
Right.
I think, like, you may be right about something, I hope, in some sense. In the sense, at least, that I think, like, we're at a juncture with the country where it's like, you know, our status is at risk right now. And I think that people have been relying too long on politicians, whether they're from two parties or not, to be able to find their independence, but they should be able to, given the immense amount of freedom, and we have a lot of freedom in this
Relying on dinosaurs, really think about it.
What's that?
They're relying on dinosaurs. These fucking people that are pumped into this.
It's been going on for more decades.
Really, like, archaic fucking ideals.
Well, it's like the Roman Empire almost and shit, man.
Well, and that's the thing, is like we may be seeing, and I think some indications are there of an empire in decline, and so I think it's time. I think it's time for this public to really start to question a lot of the precepts that have guided us for years, that have allowed the Republicrats to keep running things.
Absolutely. So, Darren, before we wrap up, we want to know if you want to plug anything, anything coming up sometime.
Yeah, well, August 19, Oakham Productions launch party, McGinley Square Pub. We're going to have a damn good time. I'm playing Outer System Transfer from Brooklyn is playing. Very cool band. We've never seen folk punk with a trumpet, this is your chance. Bible Gun's playing. Gina Tolentino, which is a great artist from Jersey City, is playing. We're gonna have a damn good time, and then I'm hitting the road. Doing the Blues Non Este Martum in America. Look it up. And I'll be at Muddy Roots, reuniting with some friends from international places and playing all sorts of different places. And man, life never ceases to be interesting. It will get interesting after that.
And where can people check you out on social media?
You can find me on DarrenDeicide.com. You can find me at Facebook.com/DarrenDeicide. This is all very predictable.
Yeah.
Twitter.com/DarrenDeicide.
But you gotta plug it.
You got Darren Deicide domain on lock.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm gonna
call that Deicide.
Yeah. Yeah, Deicide. You gonna fucking come and do something
Come
with
on.
fuckers?
Come on, motherfucker.
He's waiting for it.
Let's see who kills God's better.
I like that you said Dan Good. I'm a big David Lynch fan too. And big Twin Peaks fan. And I'm glad Twin Peaks is back too. So that's pretty fucking sweet. So we want to plug our page, our Facebook page on Hudson County Scumbags. You can find us at HCSB201, and you can also check out the podcast page at HCST Podcast. And you can take a look at that and listen to our podcast as well as our previous 2 episodes, and you certainly won't be disappointed. Definitely not with this episode. I think this one is definitely. I'm not going to say it's the Return of the Jedi, but I'm going to say it's The Empire Strikes Back so far of the fucking 3 episodes. I am your father. No!
SoundCloud
You
and
kidding me?
iTunes, baby.
SoundCloud and iTunes. And D, you want to plug anything before we
Yeah,
go?
man, you can find me at your mother's house. Now you can find me at
He is a motherfucker.
yeah, you can find me at D Rotten on Facebook if you want to find me. But here at DD Scum, but it's D Rotten. And you can find me on YouTube, D Rotten. And you can also find us on YouTube.
HCSB201,
There
man.
you go, baby.
That's right, man. So, just want to say thank you to everybody that has been listening. Thank you to our sponsors. I don't think we have any sponsors yet, but we're working on it. And keep on listening to the podcast, and we appreciate it. We also like to thank Mr. Darren Deicide for coming on and spending the time with me, man.
Fucking coolest guest.
Yeah, definitely. Great chatting it up with you. And we look forward to being with you again for episode 4. And we are going to finish our show with My Star Spangled Banner by Darren Deicide. Enjoy and stay scummy, America. That's right, baby. Roll credits. That was fun, man.
There's a sign above when the rocket's red glare. Is there any doubt? Everyone
There is something that made me like this. A sealed death sentence with a kiss. There's no other way than this broke up road. And every time I sail is when I reload. And they confess with the tongues, tremble in the boots, cry in the beer, pull at the roots because my birthday has never been in my worst days before original sin. Maybe Baby, you'll release the beast. It waits to be unleashed. It waits to be released. Beneath this tree is where I live, and only the blind can see me. I curl myself up, counting all I forgive. Nobody sees my army, and now my minions are around, coming from the underground. They're creeping up the subway stairs, they're scattering all around. There's a bad seed planted in the soil, and it's bleeding in the ground and starting to boil. They always release the beast. It waits to be unleashed. It waits to be released. There's a sign above when the rocket's red glare. Is there any doubt? Everyone beware. There's a thief in the house, a knock on the door. In your ear there's a louse, and money's on the floor. There's a sign above when the rocket's red glare. Above when the rocket's red glare. Is there any doubt? Everyone beware. There's a thief in the house, a knock on the door. In your ear there's a louse, and money's on the floor. There's a sign above when the rocket's red glare.